Hey guys, what's up? Shin0555 here, coming at ya with another drawing video. It's Sunday, we're back, we're at it again. And this video was requested by Scott, Elevators and Escalators. Very cool name. And it's Tolstar again. I actually looked it up. Last time I drew Tolstar was 11 months ago. I feel like I drew this guy yesterday. But Scott here wanted me to draw Tolstar not in his like battle look, more of like a normal look. So I picked the sprite where he is like looking at his calculator. That is in fact a calculator. I always thought it was like a wad of money. But it is indeed a calculator. But yeah, so we're just going to be drawing Tolstar again. And before we begin, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. That really does help me out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get our pencils ready and let's jump in. Alright guys, so this is a fairly simple one. What you want to do to start off is drawing a nice big circle. This is pretty much going to be like his main body shape. And then what you want to do is kind of just draw another like big circle kind of above it. And we'll get like a little circle right here for like the shell that's going to be around there. We can get a little oval here to like place where the wing's going to be. We could also draw in a crosshairs to where like his eyes and face are going to kind of be. And then we can get a nice oval here for his arm. Kind of gesture in this little like rectangle shape here. Something like that. And then we'll get a nice big oval for his leg and then a little oval right underneath it. And then we'll get a little kind of triangle thing there for his tail. And that's pretty much all we need for the gesture. So if you have something like this, we're in a good starting point. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And we're going to just start off with his mouth, actually. So his mouth is going to be on this nice big curve. He's doing a nice big smile. And what you want to do is start right about here. And just draw a nice curve line that's going to curve around. And then over here. And then we're going to start up here again. And then we're just going to go down. And then over and around like that. So you should get kind of like this almost banana looking shape. And now that you got that done, what we could do is draw a little curve line here like that, and another little curve line like this. And then we're basically going to just get a line that hugs the curve of the mouth there like this. And then one that does the same here like so. And then for his teeth, it's just this kind of like zigzag pattern. So you just kind of draw like a bunch of little spikes going up and down like so. And then for his eyes, you could draw two ovals that are going to be like real close to one another like this. One's going to be slightly shorter than the other, so you can keep that in mind. And what I like to do is I start off with a nice little curve line right here. And we'll have another little curve line there like that. And then here, this one will be a bigger oval. Like so. So you basically just do like an upside down U shape. And then this one's going to be slightly smaller. Like so. And then what you could do here is draw a nice little curve line kind of on the bottom of that oval. You don't want it touching anything, just do a little curve right underneath. And then basically what you're going to do is do a nice U shape right here. And then another U shape right there. And then you're going to do a smaller U shape here and here. And then you could shade that in. Shade this in. Like so. And now following this center line here, basically, you're going to get a curve line here like this, and what we're going to do is kind of gesture in a star by going up, down, over, and then down like that. So we get like a nice little star shape. I'll move the camera up a little bit more so you can see it. And what we're going to do here is we don't want it as pointy as this. He has a very rounded star. So basically, we're just going to use this as a guide, kind of round off the edges there, and then go down and around. Over, just kind of keep the edges rounded like so. And there you go. And then what we're going to do is draw a nice curve line like this that follows the head there. And basically what we're going to do is get kind of like just a full on almost circle type shape like that. But before we do that we're actually going to gesture in the hair. So the hair is kind of like this kind of big oval that goes down like this. Kind of draw it in like that. It follows the curve of the head. And then what we want to do here is just kind of draw in like very jaggedy lines like this, going up. So you get to about there. And then here, you're basically going to just follow the curve and just kind of break it off into spikes every now and again. Here you can keep like 2 spikes real close to one another. And one go out here, there. And it's going to stop right about there. And then before we do anything else, we're going to get a series of circles going around for like his necklace or neckband or whatever he's wearing. And what you want to do is find a main circle. I'm going to pick this one and draw that circle in like this. And then basically all the other circles are just going to go off of that one like so. And then this one won't overlap the hair, so it'll stop about there and there like that. And then the rest will kind of just be going across like this. Very simple. And while we're here, we could draw in this little bat wing that we'll see a little bit of right here. And it's very simple. All you're going to start is right here, kind of like on the eye line. Draw a little curve like this. And then you're going to go in like that. And then get like 2 bumps. Like so. And then we're going to do kind of the same thing here. We see more of it here. So off this circle, we're just going to get a line that goes over and out like this. And a little curve line like that. Another bump, and then this bump will go in like so. And now that we got that down, we can jump into like his arm in the calculator here. So I'm actually going to move his arm a little bit back. So we're going to start right about here. And basically what you want to do is just draw a nice little curve line like this. It can kind of curve out slightly as it goes around here and just kind of becomes like an oval, really. So you should get a shape that looks something like that. And now we could draw on the calculator. So the calculator is fairly simple. You're going to draw a line going up here, and then we're going to go across, and then it's going to go down, across, and then we're going to connect these 2 lines like that. Then we're going to extend this line out like this, another one out like this, and then we're going to connect them like that. And then this line will go out, this line will go down, and they'll meet. And then all you want to do is draw a shape that hugs this outside shape very closely. There, and then here, kind of the same thing. Basically just draw a little rectangle in the middle there like that. And now, before we get into like more of his body shape, we're actually going to draw in his leg. And then we'll probably draw in a shell, then get the body shape in. So his leg's fairly simple, and this is a good place for it. So what you're going to do here is just draw a nice little curve line that hugs this oval. And then we're going to have like a little bit of a gap here. And then just kind of finish off the oval like that. And then for the foot here, it's just this kind of little round shape that goes over like so. And now we could draw in the shell. So the shell's going to start here, and it's basically this kind of curve line that curves over like this. And then it's going to bump out, and then go around and back in like that. And then the rest of the shell, and I'll finish off the hair here like that. And then the rest of the shell will start here and just kind of curve into there like that. And now we get the rest of the body. So it's just going to be this curve line that's going to follow the circle shape that we have here. And you would see a little bit of this foot. So we could kind of draw in like a little curve line here where we kind of see like this part. And then a nice little bump right there. So, and we'll get a little curve line here that's going to connect in with that. Maybe a little bump here for his other arm. And then just to finish it off, he has a little tail here that's just going to go out. And then over like so. And that's pretty much how you draw him holding the calculator. So, yeah, not a hard video, or not a hard drawing to do. It's really like these simple basic shapes, pretty much all circles, except for the calculator, obviously. But it's pretty much all circles, so I think this guy is fairly easy to draw, so you shouldn't have too much trouble with it. But if you do have trouble, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Hopefully I can help you out a little bit. But before then, I will put both versions that I did, the inked version and the sketch that we just did, put it up here, and yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you again, Scott, Elevators and Escalators, for the request. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy a Tolstar here. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye. Later.